Okay, get yourself ready for your evening restorative practice. Let's get really comfortable. That's our principal priority. So have a blanket on top of your normal mat if you can. So I've just got a big kind of bath towel. It's really cozy. Make sure that you're going to be warm. Warmth again is another priority. So I've got 3 heaters on in here because it's a bit quite cold. Have a bolster underneath your knees, a block underneath each foot, and then have a blanket for underneath your head. If you want, you can have a folded, say, an eye pillow for your eyes, and then just come down onto your back. Cover yourself up for warmth, and then lay yourself down in a good straight line right down the centre of the mat. Oh, it feels really nice, doesn't it, to finally be in a good, comfortable relaxation position. So just allow yourself to completely flop into the floor. Listen to the sound of the breath and allow your back to just rest totally into the floor. Just let the body relax. Let the legs relax. Observe where the body makes contact with the ground. Don't be in a rush to get into your final position. Sometimes it takes a little bit of adjustment to get into a position in which you feel comfortable. So give yourself a chance to get comfortable. Adjust if you need to. It's not a practice of enforced stillness. Allow yourself to release into the ground. Observe where your body makes contact with the floor. Listen to the sound of the breath. Listen to the sound of your breath as it enters and as it exits. Take some deep inhalations, fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top, and allow the body to completely release into the floor with the exhalation. Just focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet so that they tingle with consciousness. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet, into the skin and the flesh and the muscle. And then relax the bones of the feet. Relax the muscle and the flesh and the skin. Start in that relaxation from the bones. Draw your attention to the tops of the feet. Draw your attention to the tops of the feet so that they tingle with consciousness. And relax the bones. Relax the muscles and the flesh and the skin. Relaxing into the bones. Draw your attention into the shins. Feeling the shin skin and the flesh and the muscles, calf muscles particularly. And then soften the skin of the shins and the flesh and the muscle, and then allow the shin bone to relax. And allow the shin bone to sink into the bed of the calf muscle. Relaxing into the muscle and into the bone. Draw your attention into your kneecaps and your thighs. Again, allowing the skin to tingle with consciousness. And then allow the fronts of the shins to sink into the backs of the fronts of the thighs to sink into the backs of the thighs. Relaxing the tendons around the knees, allowing the legs to completely release into the bolster and into the blocks. Take a deep inhalation and let the legs completely relax into the floor with the exhalation. Draw your attention into the pelvis and into the abdomen. Just let the pelvis relax in the skin and the muscles. Let the abdomen soften. Allow the abdomen to completely relax, the muscles to soften, and let the abdomen sink towards the spine. Draw your attention to the rib cage. Just be conscious of the expansion of the rib cage as you inhale and the reduction in size with the out-breath, the relaxation of the out-breath. Relax the chest, relax the shoulders, relax the chest and the abdomen, soften the shoulders and the upper arms and the lower arms. Soften the shoulders and the upper arms and the forearms, and the wrists and the hands, just letting them relax into the floor. Bring consciousness to the physical body, observing the tingle of energized release. Relaxing the upper body and the lower body completely into the floor. Relax the arms and the hands into the floor. Just let the body become heavy, but observe that energetic lightness that rises out of the bones and into the muscles. Soften the neck, soften the throat. Draw your attention into the neck, softening the muscles and the skin around the neck, and then draw your attention into the face, feeling the skin around the base of the skull. Just soften the facial muscles, soften the skin around the skull, soften the skin at the back of the neck. Just enjoy this feeling of total relaxation, the support of the back on the floor, just the sensation that you are recouping your energy, recuperating your energy. Soften the neck and the throat and allow the facial muscles to completely relax. Softening the muscles around the face and around the jaw and around the back of the skull. So allowing the muscles of the face to completely relax. Just allow the body to completely surrender into the straight line of the floor. Just enjoying this sensation of relaxation. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, and then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have the feet apart and the knees together. Just no rush, just allow your back to sink into the ground. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just cross legs if that's comfortable. Just observing your energy. Observing how it's changed already. Okay, we're going to do our mountain brook pose. So get your blanket that you use for your head and unfold it, and then fold that long ways down the middle. So you've got this long, kind of chunky blanket like this, and that's going to go there for your shoulders, for your shoulder blades, and you can move the blocks away from underneath your feet. We're going to come down into a really similar pose, but a little more intense, but really nice. Remember, if these poses don't feel good for you, then you just do another one instead. So if it doesn't feel right, then you adjust. If you don't enjoy it at all, then you come out of the pose and do another. Come down onto your back, and your shoulder blade area should be supported by the folded blanket, your head on the floor. If your head feels like it rolls back, you can put another blanket underneath your head. And then just stretch, just let your arms rest on the floor over your head. So just allow yourself to release. So as you know, as we progress into our sequence, I'll speak less and less, so that you can just use the opportunity to relax rather than having to listen. So I'll talk you in and out of poses, but otherwise we'll just enjoy the silence. You might hear my stomach rumbling a little. That's been a bit rumbly this evening, but otherwise just enjoy the silence. So this is our mountain brook pose. Really nice for stiff shoulders, really good for lifting your energy. Let the rest of the body completely relax into the floor. Okay, and when you're ready, just gently release your arms. Just rest your hands on your lower ribs. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster. And then gently roll over onto your side. Just stay down for a moment or two. And then straighten out the top leg and come back up into the seated position. Just observe your energy, observe how energy around the shoulders really gives you a sensation of elevation. Okay, so we're going to do our heart pose. So have a bolster behind you. It's nice in this pose to make your bolster into a little ramp. So if you've got a couple of blocks, have one on its low end like that, on its flat end, one on its tall end like this, and then have the bolster like that in a little ramp. And then you can just put a folded blanket, you can just put that at the head end just to give you a little bit more support for your head. And then we're just gonna, you keep your legs outstretched, just straight legs, sit just at the bottom of the bolster so you can wrap yourself up for warmth, and then you just guide yourself down along the ramp, and then let the hands, the backs of the hands rest on the floor, palms facing upwards. If you need something underneath your elbows, sometimes you need some support under your elbows, you can put some blocks underneath your elbows. Again, make sure that you feel comfortable. So you might have to adjust a couple of times. You can cover your eyes for darkness, or you can just close your eye. Just allow the body to mold into the bolster. Just listen to the breath and just enjoy the quietness as much as you can. Soften around the jaw and around the tongue and around the throat. The shoulders completely relax. Let the arms hang down to the floor. Okay, to bring yourself out of the pose, just push your hands into the floor and push yourself up into a seated position. Just coming into cross legs. Feeling the sensation of energy and lightness that you've released so far. Okay, keep your bolster where it is and then just turn to face it. Have the bolster just between the knees, and then we're going to come forwards into our supported child's pose. Just get your blanket, unfold it if you've got it on top of the bolster, and then just fold it like we had for the mountain brook pose, and then just bring yourself along the bolster, rest your head on one side, and then let your arms just rest down along the floor. Just listen to the sound of your breath and allow yourself to gently release into the floor. Just up one. So if your elbows reach the floor, then have them wide enough apart so that you aren't supporting your weight underneath with your arms. You just letting the body drape over the bolster. You can bring your hands together beyond the blocks, or you just keep your hands just resting on the floor, palms facing down. So again, just adjust your position until you feel that you are comfortable. So never bear discomfort. Always ensure that the pose that you are doing feels comfortable. And adjust until it does. So I've had quite a stiff upper back from sitting badly at a piano for a couple of hours today. So this really opens up the tension in the upper back. It releases the discomfort. Pick your head up and then just turn your head onto the other side. Just rest your head on the other side. Swap the position of your head, just rest your head on the other side. Swap your head, just rest on the other side again, just so that there's an even stretch on the neck. And then push your hands into the floor, push yourself up into a seated position, just sitting back on your heels if that's comfortable. Again, just observing the energy, observing the space around the neck, around the shoulders. And then just dismantle your ramp. Just have a folded blanket for your head, just a little pillow, 8th fold for your head. Have the bolster underneath your knees, and then just finish how we began in our restorative, in our basic relaxation pose. And then just guide yourself down onto the floor. And allow the body just to release down into the ground. Let the body relax into the floor. Let the body become heavy on the ground. Allow the body to become heavy and unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs. Unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs and let the body become heavy, and observe that feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the bones. Radiates from the bones and into the muscles. That energetic lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Radiating into the organs and into the flesh and the skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the tips of the toes, into the tips of the fingers, and up into the top of the head. Basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And when when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bring your feet onto the bolster. Have the feet apart and your knees together. Just resting your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out your top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in Namaste, a final spinal lift. Sit on your bolster if it's uncomfortable to sit, cross legs. Just spend a moment to observe the energy that you've released through your relaxation poses. Draw in the breath down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice. And then draw your chin down to make contact with your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really released tension from the body, also really lifted your energy, giving yourself good, positive energy for the rest of your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.